Things are getting serious. There's finally an announcement about the release of the Harry Potter series. Plus, Batman and his friends are heading back to prehistoric times, Moana 2 sets course for success, and a psychotic serial killer celebrates his comeback. This and much more now in the KinoCheck news. A final purge is about to happen. 3 years after the supposedly final movie, The Forever Purge, another part is now in the pipeline, which, according to initial information, is set to be the grand finale of the horror franchise. Frank Grillo will once again play the lead role. In a recent interview with Screen Rant on the red carpet of Lights Out, actor Frank Grillo, who previously starred in The Purge Anarchy and The Purge Election Year, revealed that the script for the 6th movie has already been completed. The Purge creator James DeMonaco will direct the final film and focus on Leo Barnes, who will be played by Grillo. Originally, The Forever Purge, released in 2021, was planned as the grand finale. Around 2 years later, however, Jason Blum, CEO of Blumhouse Productions, surprised fans by announcing that The Purge 6 is currently in development. James DeMonaco himself spoke about the upcoming movie and promised to show an even darker version of America. At the end of The Forever Purge, the country descended into chaos as the annual purge became an ongoing event. DeMonaco hinted that The Purge 6 will explore how the United States deals with the consequences of this ongoing chaos. He also emphasized that the individual states will be extremely divided in the movie, and that the country will be shaped based on ideology, sexuality, and religion. The movie's cast remains largely unknown, with Frank Grillo being the only confirmed actor. However, we can assume that Part 6 will make no compromises in terms of suspense and brutality. The Crow returns. 30 years after the release of the dark revenge thriller, The Crow, a reboot is now coming, in which It star Bill Skarsgard will take on the role of Eric Draven. The first images already suggest that things will be just as serious in the reboot. In the first images, published by Vanity Fair, we see the loving couple Eric Draven and Shelley Webster, presumably before the tragedy of the so-called Devil's Night, in which they both lost their lives. The third picture then presents us with the returned Eric in all his glory, muscular, covered in tattoos from top to bottom, and ready for his vendetta. Although the dark look is likely to come very close to the original, directed by Alex Proyas, the first images online were not entirely met with approval. Some people compared Skarsgard to the rather disliked version of the Joker from Suicide Squad, while others thought he resembled a drug addict. It was clear from the start that Skarsgard had to bear a heavy burden. After all, the tragedy surrounding the former lead actor, Brandon Lee, is a tragic part of movie history. He died in a shooting accident during the filming in the mid-90s. The new adaptation of The Crow, directed by Rupert Sanders, will be released in US theaters on June 7, 2024. The series reboot of the most popular wizarding student in movie history continues to gain momentum. At an event organized by Warner Brothers, the target release date for the series has now been announced. In a conference call, Warner CEO David Zaslav revealed that the enthusiasm for the Harry Potter franchise remains undiminished. The grand finale, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, was released 13 years ago. It is thus quite understandable that both Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling have high hopes for a revival of the franchise in the form of a series. The idea behind this is to produce a separate season for each of the books. The aim is to cover significantly more details of the original books that only played a minor role in the previous movies, or did not feature at all. The release date is now set for 2026. However, many fans are now asking themselves to what extent Rowling will be involved in the development process of the series. In the past, the author has repeatedly hit the headlines with negative comments on social media, and has faced a lot of backlash from fans and members of the original cast. As a result, she did not participate in the Return to Hogwarts reunion special in 2021, for example. According to Entertainment Weekly, the new series announcement comes at a time when Warner Bros. Discovery is also promoting other major fantasy series. This summer, the Game of Thrones universe will resume with the second season of House of the Dragon. It has also been confirmed that the spin-off A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, will premiere in 2025. Batman and Superman as prehistoric creatures? Indeed, at least when it comes to the comic series, The Jurassic League, in which DC's popular heroes impose law and order as dinosaurs. Now, Warner appears keen on realizing the crazy comic in the form of an animated film. The new DCU, under James Gunn and Peter Safran, is expanding rapidly, They are working hard on new projects to make the popular comic universe competitive again. The new rumor from Hollywood leaker Jeff Snyder confirms that they also seem to sympathize with absolutely crazy ideas. According to him, an animated film based on the Jurassic League is actually in development. The Jurassic League is based on a popular comic book series in which the well-known heroes take on their arch-enemies Jokerzard and Giganta as Batsaur, Supersaur, Wonder Dawn, and Green Torch, for example. This more than extraordinary adventure is set to be an independent Elseworlds project and will have no direct connection to the new DC universe, according to initial information. Rumors suggest that Minions author Brian Lynch has been commissioned to write the script. Although the release date for the Jurassic League is still uncertain, another animated project called Creature Commandos is already in the pipeline for 2024 and will be produced as a series. The Creature Commandos are a group of military meta-beings led by Rick Flag. He was already featured in the 2016 and 2021 Suicide Squad movies. The animated superhero series is part of the first DCU chapter, Gods and Monsters, and is to be released in the US via the streaming service Max. So, the future of DC seems to have a lot to look forward to. We can't wait to find out more. Patrick Bateman returns. Around 25 years after the original film, American Psycho, a remake of the thriller starring Christian Bale is reportedly being planned. According to Hollywood insider Jeff Snyder, Lionsgate is currently looking for gifted screenwriters to pen the remake. The remake is to deviate from the original story, which was set in the 1980s by taking place in the present day. American Psycho tells the story of investment banker Patrick Bateman, whose life is defined by ideals of beauty, luxury goods, and belonging to the upper class. Behind it all, however, is a serial killer who primarily targets young women. The decision to use a modern setting opens up a wealth of new possibilities for examining Bateman's psychological depths, especially in the age of social media, where beauty and self-fashioning are the norm. Information on a possible cast or release date is not yet known, since the project still appears to be at an early stage of development. However, Lionsgate should be pleased to finally breathe new life into the franchise. After all, the studio has been toying with the idea of expanding Patrick Bateman's dark universe for quite a while. The only attempt at a sequel to date came 2 years after the classic with American Psycho 2. However, the movie had little in common with the original. Now that was positive news from Disney. The announcement that Moana 2 will be released in 2024 has excited many. In 2016, the previous movie grossed over $687 million worldwide and is considered a fan favorite. 8 years later, Moana 2 is now set to follow and is clearly building on the strengths of the first part. According to Deadline, both Auli'i Cravalho as Moana and Dwayne Johnson as Demigod Maui will reprise their roles. Dwayne Johnson had already committed to the sequel some time ago, while Cravalho was still in negotiations. Moana 2 was originally planned as a Disney Plus series. However, Disney CEO Bob Iger ultimately decided to make it into another big-screen movie. The continued success of the original movie on Disney Plus played a decisive role here, as Part 1 recently passed the impressive 1 billion streaming hours milestone and was the most-watched Disney movie of 2023 in the United States. So it seems that people's interest in Moana remains undiminished. Moana 2 will be released in theaters on November 27, 2024, followed by a live-action version of the first part on June 27, 2025, also starring Dwayne Johnson. We hope you enjoyed this week's news. Give us a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you still have some time left, we recommend watching our new movie previews for Gladiator 2 and Tron 3: Ares. Enjoy!